All right, welcome back to the Clemson Insiders. We now get you ready for our preview and predictions for this week's game against South Carolina as the Tigers head to Columbia and battle the Gamecocks. A lot on the line, more than bragging rights for Clemson. Also, the college football playoff is at stake. The Tigers also got to get themselves ready for next week's game in the ACC Championship. So there's a lot on the plate for Clemson, but it seems like all week long, gentlemen, it's been about the Gamecocks, and there's no overlooking to Carolina because they got the ACC Championship game next week with Miami, or they're worried about the college football playoff. It's, as we've heard all year long, it's that this is the next game, so this is the biggest game mantra. And in the state of South Carolina, this is the biggest game. So, Gavin, I'm going to start with you. Your keys for Clemson if they're going to win this football game on Saturday.
Okay. Yeah, this has been a frequently cited key, so I guess you could say, this year in our prediction videos, and usually Robert's the one that brings it up. So in honor of Robert, I will use his key, which is get off to a good start on the road. The only way I can see Clemson loses this game, I can't even really see it even if this happens, but the only way I can see it really being close is if Clemson gets off to a bad start on the road in a hostile environment, things kind of pile on top and kind of the snowball effect, so to speak. If things go bad and they start going bad, Clemson gets himself into a hole. So my key is just get off to a fast start, quiet the crowd from the start, and if that happens, I think Clemson will roll.
Yeah, I like to call that, in this rivalry, I call it the Charlie Whitehurst start. And what I mean by that is you go out there and you throw 3 touchdown passes in the first 6-7 minutes of the game. It's 21-0 before the people that have had a lot of beverages leading up to the game even sit down. And by that point, it's already game, set, match. And so, very good point, I think. And in honor of Robert, by the way, Robert is, if you wonder where he's at, he's been with his family all week, Thanksgiving and all that stuff. So, Robert's daughter's in town. And so guys, it's been a long time since he's seen his daughter. So we'll give him a break on this one, that he put family before the Clemson-Carolina game. How dare he? How dare he? I mean, gosh. Anyway, Alex, we'll get with you, man. What is your key?
My key for Clemson winning this game is focus. You heard Coach Sweeney talk about how emotions play a big part in the game, but you can't win a game based off purely emotions. So if Clemson comes out and is only playing with emotion, and then, like you said, if they turn the ball over a couple times and South Carolina goes on the other end and scores, that's the only way I see this game really getting out of hand to where South Carolina could win. So focus is the key to the game, in my mind, for Clemson to beat South Carolina on Saturday.
Definitely one that's going to be, they're going to have to keep their focus. And, when I look at this game, I look at 2 things that are the most important, I think, when you look at football, and it's the lines of scrimmage. Okay? I look at Dexter Lawrence, I look at Christian Wilkins, I look at Cleveland Farrell, and I look at Austin Bryant. How are you going to block them? That's the one thing. How are you going to block them? And then when you flip it over, I look at All-American Mitch Hyatt, I look at All-ACC guard Tyrone Crowder over here on the right side. I look at All-ACC guard. Help me out here. Taylor Hearn. Sorry, Taylor. Taylor Hearn over on the left side. I think, Clemson's obviously they do have some question marks still over there at the right tackle position. But seeing Ankrum last week play over on the left side and did well, I thought. Yeah. There's some improvement there. I just think South Carolina's a little better. Dabo Swinney even mentioned it this week that he thought South Carolina was better on the offensive line than they were a year ago. We even heard Kendall Joseph say that when those guys were healthy, there was a noticeable difference on film, who was blocking and who wasn't. Yeah. However, Clemson is just so much more talented in the trenches than South Carolina. I think Will Muschamp and his crew is trying to get things going there. They're recruiting a little bit better. Gavin, you know that better than I do. And they're trying to get better in the trenches, but they're still behind the 8 ball when you play the Clemsons, the Alabamas, even Georgias of the world right now. They're not at that level in the trenches. So for me, the key is simple for Clemson. Just dominate the lines of scrimmage. They do that, I think they're going to win this game, because 99% of the time, the team who wins the battle of the lines of scrimmage wins this football game.
Right.
And wins any football game. And I think that's going to be the key for Clemson. So now we're going to move forward as we go over here, Gavin, to you, your predictions. What do you think is going to happen this week? Tight game? Blowout? What do you think?
I think Clemson's going to win handily. If just looking at the numbers a little bit, South Carolina is ranked 104th in total offense, 88th in scoring offense. Clemson's defense on the flip side, top 10 in both scoring, defense, and total defense, 3rd and 7th respectively in those categories. So I just don't. Jake Bentley talked a lot leading up to this game. I think Clemson's D-line and Clemson's defense is going to be ready to go out there and try to lay some hits on them this week. And I think they're going to be fired up. I just don't see South Carolina scoring enough points to keep pace with Clemson, although South Carolina's defense is a top 25 ranked scoring defense. I think they'll kind of give Clemson's offense maybe some trouble here and there throughout the game, but at the end of the day, I don't see South Carolina scoring enough points to keep pace. So I'm going to say 38-14. Clemson wins handily on Saturday.
All right, I like it. Good score there. Good score. Not too crazy.
Yeah, when I was looking at
This
this
is
game,
going to be crazy.
when I looked at this game, I looked at some of the same things too. One stat: Clemson 54 games in a row when holding opponents to under 23 points. I don't think the Gamecocks are going to get 23 points against the Clemson defense because of those numbers that you just listed. And then add on the factor of Jake Bentley talking in the offseason and all the South Carolina players who have said things this week. I think that defensive line and that front seven for Clemson is going to be fired up no matter who's playing linebacker for the Tigers. But my score prediction for the game, very close to Gavin's. I was going to say 38-10 in favor of Clemson. And I think maybe it's one of those things where South Carolina goes down and scores at the end of the game to make it look like it wasn't as much of a victory for the Tigers as it was.